Friday. What's up, everybody? Can everybody hear me okay? Good, good, good. Can you guys hear me in the back there? I see a few guys in the training room. All good, all good. What's up, Luana? Good morning, morning. All right, so if you guys that are new into the office or doing the mornings in our business, I started this channel, this Klear Channel, about a year and a half ago. So I see a few people in the office that are fairly new in the business that we're in. I want you guys to all take out your cell phones. Take out your cell phones. It's my helpless plug. Go to YouTube. Type in Klear Channel, Klear Channel. Yeah, Cody, I see you. I see you pulling out your cell phone. Thank you. Go to Klear Channel, Klear Channel, and please subscribe. My goal is to be over 5,000 subscribers this year. We're at about 500 right now as a channel. I've been invited to a couple calls recently with a lot of CEOs and people that are elite of the elite in what they do. I happened to be on a call this morning with over 2,000 people and 300 or so CEOs. I was among the 15 kind of people that had an opportunity to speak this morning in the call, which was pretty cool. But I think through opportunities like that, as well as, people that we know and that we share this channel with, we're gonna hit our goals. But I'll tell you that my goal of starting this channel was simply, my mission is to help change the world one leader at a time. So if you can help me do that by subscribing to this channel and sharing the good news and passing it on, I would really appreciate it. So guys, today I'm going to talk about tips 2022. I'm going to talk about tips that are going to help you have an amazing 2022. I know a lot of people have come to me and sent me their goals. I know I personally wrote my goals on paper. I've typed them out. I have them in my office in the house, and I look at them. I have my strategic plan. And I have a lot of leverage items I'm looking at when I'm looking at my goals. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to make this year your year, different than every other year. 2022, it's a year to be audacious. It's a year to really take yourself to a new level. So, all right, number one, first thought. You could have a poor car, you can have a poor house, you can have shitty clothes and not a lot of money, but you can't have a poor mind. So you can have a poor car, a car that breaks down on you like I did early in my career. You can have a house that's just not the best, maybe an apartment, whatever, but you cannot have a poor mind. Your mind will determine where you go. So do yourself a favor and level up your mind. Do yourself a favor and level up your mind. They say that iron sharpens iron. So if you're around people that aren't making you sharp, that are constantly pulling you down and getting you to get distracted and away from the things you want to accomplish, get away from them. Get around people that are going to build you and support you and help you go after your goals. So you can have a poor car, poor house, but don't have a poor mind. Second thing I'd like to share with you guys today is once you have your own respect, you don't need anyone else's. Once you have your own respect, you don't need anyone else's. And I've noticed so many people that want to be successful, that are young, and listen, they may not be young in their career, they may be in their career for a long time, that they let other people just affect how they feel about themselves. It's crazy. But when you have your own respect and somebody says something to you, or someone gets in the way of what you want to accomplish or whatever, it's okay. That's not on you. You realize that it's not about you. It's about them. And that's on them. So once you have your own respect, you don't need others. When I say you respect yourself, that means that you take care of yourself. That means you eat healthy. That means that you get your sleep. That means that you nourish yourself with some type of exercise or mental training. You do things that make you happy. You do things that make you get better. So respect yourself this year. 2022, if there's anything you do this year, respect yourself. And, you know, I'll tell you, when I think of people, there's so many different types of people that are successful in this world. And, you know, there's some people that are quiet. There's some people that are introverted. There's some people that are very outgoing and charismatic. There's some people that are a combination of both. There's so many different types of people. But I can tell you that in order to be successful at whatever you choose to do, and whether you're in our industry or you move on to another industry, you have to stand up straight. You got to have your shoulder, you got to like stand up. You got to have your shoulders back. You got to be confident. You got to speak up. You can't just follow along and go, and people are just, you know, just follow along. And just, you can't be a follower. You got to speak up. You got to get aggressive. But there's just so many different types of people out there that can succeed. And it really just has to, what's inside of them? What's inside of you? What do you want to bring out into this world? Who do you want to become? So again, all along with that respecting, you got to respect yourself. And I'll tell you, as you're going along in this journey of trying to succeed and accomplish things, you're going to realize that you may win some and you may lose some. You may win some and you may lose some. But one thing I've realized, that winning isn't permanent and neither is losing. And it's crazy because it's literally, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. So when somebody's winning, in my eyes, when I've been winning in my career, I do my best to stay humble. I do my best to really, hey, okay, I'm doing all right, but I can do better, and push myself to get better. And then when I'm getting my ass kicked, because I've had that happen a lot in my career, when I'm losing day in and day out and things aren't adding up, I'm putting in a lot of effort and things aren't adding up. What I realized later in my career, those are the moments that are the most valuable. Those are the moments that really have built my character and make winning so special. And what I used to do early in my career is when I didn't hit my goals, or I was getting knocked down, or I was getting hammered a little bit, I used to say things like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I use I don't know stuff. But I realized the quicker that when I was losing, that I say the words, it's my responsibility to know. It's my responsibility to know what I need to change. And listen, you may not have an idea, but that's why you should get a coach. That's why you should get a peer that's in a position you want to be in, and say, hey, listen, open yourself up. And again, be humble and say, hey, I'm not hitting my numbers. I'm not hitting my goals at this point in these areas of my life. Do you have any perspective? Do you have anything you can share with me? Because it's hard to look at me and the outside of me. It's like when you hear yourself talking, like for me, when I listen to these videos, sometimes I'm like, God, I really sound like that. Or you like listen to a voice note, I'm like, oh, I really said that. Or you're in a video and you're like, oh, I dance like that. Oh, I don't know about that. Right? Like we're all so critical of ourselves. Right. But the point is get someone from the outside, get someone to give you perspective, and humble yourself and listen to their perspective and give it, you know, a look. But yeah, winning is not permanent and neither is losing. But you got to change. It's so funny. Early in my career, I was so hard on myself, and I'm pretty hard on myself now, but I have interesting perspective about things that happen. And I'll tell you one thing I say to myself, and I'll leave you guys with this about this thought, is winning and losing. when I am getting knocked down, I ask myself, in 5 years from now, am I going to remember this? Am I really going to, like, what's ever happening today, am I remember? I know for me, 18, 20 years ago, I was in the sales and what we do as a business. I have no idea. 18 years ago today, I have no idea what a customer said to me. I have no idea how my day went sales-wise. All I know is that I got promoted. All I know is I became an entrepreneur at 23 years old. And all I know is since then, I've done my best to make a major impact on the world, teaching 30, 40, I don't know, people to run companies all over the country. And so again, the reality is winning isn't permanent, and neither is losing. All right. So as you start winning more, as you start gaining momentum, 2022 is your year. You're getting you're making moves. You're being audacious. Now you start dreaming. You start dreaming about what you want. You start dreaming about the life you want to live. And I would highly, highly encourage you, if you want to make 2022 your year, I would highly encourage you to start becoming obsessed with where you want to go, with what you want to accomplish. I have a buddy of mine that is, he's a big time golfer. And I was chatting with him this morning, and it's my buddy in Atlanta, my buddy Ed, and he sent me a message. He's like, "Hey man, we should put a list together of some courses that we've always wanted to go to, and we need to hang out more. And we should just knock it off year over year, knock off 2 or 3 of these, and like the best courses in the world." And I said to him, I'm like, "I'm in. Just let me know." And so, and it's funny because when somebody says like something like that to me, and there's something gets in my mind that I really want to do, I start getting obsessed. So give an example. In 2 weeks, I'm going to see the US national team play again against El Salvador. It's a World Cup qualifier. And I'm like looking at the stadium, the seats, and I'm trying to figure out where everything is. Like I get obsessed about this stuff. Like this is it gets me going, right? I know this year is going to be the World Cup in 2022 in Qatar. And I've already started looking at the stadiums and the different venues, and we're looking at the hotels, and we're starting to, I'm starting to get really, really obsessed with the trip, because again, it deeply motivates me to come in and show up every day and drive forward. But you gotta be obsessed. Motivation comes from an obsession to accomplish things, comes from drivers, things you think about, right? And if you go to bed thinking about the things you want to accomplish in a positive way, and you go to bed thinking about the things you want to do, then you're going to wake up feeling amazing. I can tell you, when I go to bed stressed and I have anxiety around certain things, certain areas of my life, I won't get in all the details, but we had a weird doctor's appointment this week in my family. And I'm like, I've caught myself going to a negative place about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going there. I'm going to let whatever it is, I'll let it be what it is. But I'm going to, read my book. I'm going to read the book I'm reading about positive thinking and how people are. I'm going to start thinking. I was actually doing some things about this. I'm going on a snowboarding trip in a few weeks with my family. I'm starting to, kind of get everything organized with that. So again, things I get obsessed about, things that I love to do. And I wake up nourished, and I wake up ready to go. But I'll tell you, along the way, as you're getting obsessed with things, as you're moving towards what you want to accomplish, you may come across people that disagree with you. You may come across people that disagree with what you want to accomplish, disagree with what you're doing. And it's interesting because one of my peers said to me one time, he said, imagine, he goes, imagine the person that's disagreeing with you. Imagine that he's right, or that she's right. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, just remember, you don't have to always be right. And so as you're learning how to succeed, again, there's going to be times where people come in and give you perspective. And, there's some people, again, early in my career said that the business I'm in, the business I was creating, business I was working towards, the entrepreneurship I wanted to be, also known as college roommates, they said things like, "You're crazy. That's not going to work. You can't do that." And they were wrong, and it's okay. But they were just giving me perspective. And at the time, at one point in my career, when I sucked at what I was doing, they were actually right. right? They're saying things like, you should do something else. If you did something else, you'd probably make more money. And at that point in my career, they were right. I should have probably done something else, but I was too crazy to think about, hey, I'm giving up on this to do something else for the short term because I wanted to make a little bit more money now as I'm building. I'm a startup, and I wasn't into that. I'm playing the long game. I'm not playing the short game, and they played the short game, which is cool. And that short game for them has been 3 or 4 company changes and layoffs and different things. And my long game is played out a little bit differently. But it's okay that people disagree with you. Just think about it. They could be right at this moment, and that's okay. All right, and then as you're growing, one of the things that I want to tell you, I know my friend John in the office today is going to run a meeting, and so I won't get into all the details about his meeting, but I will tell you, sometimes things take time. Sometimes learning something that's really valuable isn't going to happen overnight. Again, I got my friend Sanjay in the office, and I told him yesterday, I was like, Sanjay, I'm harder on you than I've ever been on anyone else I've trained to run a company. Anyone else. And he said, thank you. And I was like, what? And because he gets it. Like, he gets it. I'm coming from a place of, hey, it is one of my most proud moments when he gets promoted to run his own business and he starts building a business for himself and he starts changing literally his family tree. Like, it's going to be very proud to watch that happen and to be a part of influencing that to happen in a positive way. Be so excited about it. But the reason I'm hard on him is because I care. I remember back in college, my college coach, who I thought was a complete asshole, he was really, really hard on me, a lot. Like, so hard on me. I remember a practice, I went in and listen, I was a little off. I stayed up too late, whatever, the night before. And when you play Division I sports, like, if you make mistakes in practice, you get yanked off the field, you sit on the bench. So I literally there was no defenders, and I never forget this. I'm a forward, the ball comes across, I went up to put it in the back of the net, I missed it completely. There's no defenders. Like, it should be an easy touch, whatever, move on. It was just like warming up in a way. The coach lost his mind. What the beep, 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 beep. Stop the whole practice. Lear, get off the field. So-and-so, get in. I go off the field and I'm like, oh God, great. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, no big deal. I scored the last couple games, no big deal. I mean, whatever. I didn't play for 3 games because of that one moment in practice. Because the guy that went in for me, he ended up starting in the game the next day. He ended up scoring in the game, and he went on a scoring streak for a few games. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, because I took my eye off. I mean, I had my moment of not, being into it or whatever, that I missed out on playing time and starting. And I'll tell you, looking back on those experiences, I remember being in the time so upset, so mad, thinking the coach was picking on me, thinking the coach was like, he was out for me. But looking back on it, I realized that he saw the potential I had playing at that level. And I'll tell you, one of my biggest regrets my first 2 or 3 years in college was I didn't play to my potential. My 4th year, when I finished up, I finished pretty strong. But up until that point, I really didn't. And the reason was because I would always blame things on him. I would always blame things on circumstances outside of me. And so knowing that, when I got into the business world, I realized that, hey, if I'm ever going to be good in business, I got to start I got to start taking accountability for me. I got to start taking accountability for what I'm doing. And I'll tell you guys, you got one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You got one life to live. And I highly encourage you to live it till its fullest. Live it to its fullest. Now, in my opinion, you need to make a lot of money if you're going to live it to its fullest. So you need to do something. Like, listen, there's some people that wake up every day and they're just kind of going to a job, and and the job, hey, it pays them for their time, and hey, to each his own. I didn't want that. When I was in my career, I'm looking for hey, what can I do that goes like this? Like the J curve, they call it in business. Like, it starts off maybe a little bit low, and then it's like catapults up. I wanted something like that. And so that's why I'm the industry I'm in. And I'll tell you, when I went through this period of time with my coach, and I, obviously this, in business, I've really thought about it a lot. I realized when I start blaming other people for my issues and the pain I was having in my life, what I was essentially doing was I was not taking accountability and control of myself. And the reality is, and this is super humbling to realize, and I know I've had to be humbled by it many a times, is you are exactly where you should be. You are exactly where you should be. And if you're not happy with that, well, do something about it. Do something about it. Because if you look back on all the decisions you've made, in the last 6 months, in the last year, in the last 2 weeks, whatever, coming into this morning, how you feel, how your day's going, like, we all make choices. We all make decisions on how to live. Some of them are subconscious. Some of them are, positive. Some of them are not so positive. But at the end of the day, you are exactly where you should be. Now, if you're in a great spot, which I know there's a lot of people on this call and a lot of people that I work with that are in a great spot, and they're moving towards, accomplishing things, it is such an amazing feeling. That the feeling of progress is absolutely amazing. And so, and listen, that's the old Muhammad Ali, quote. It's not what happens in the ring, it's what happens outside of the ring. It's kind of the decisions people make when nobody's watching. Champions aren't made in the ring, they're made in the dark, right? That kind of stuff. And again, I'm on these calls, and this morning, one of the calls started at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. And I think to myself, how much of the world isn't even awake at 6 a.m.? Right? But these are all CEOs. These are all top people in the organizations that run massive companies. They're up early. They're attacking their day. They got things they want to accomplish, right? And then, the last thing I'll share with you guys on a Friday is just something, again, to think about. It is okay to hit rock bottom. I know I have. I hit rock bottom a few times in my life, in my career. And, the old saying is, you can't jump, from midair. You got to jump from the rock bottom. Sometimes it takes hitting the ground to bounce up. They say that a kid that's learning how to ride a bicycle. I remember when Mason and Brady, both of them, were learning how to ride their bikes. You know what the number one thing that keeps the little boy or the little girl riding their bike is? The cement. The cement. Because when somebody hits the cement, it hurts. It scrapes them. Sometimes they break bones. Sometimes they, really are, in a tough spot, and they feel bad. This pain comes from it, right? And that is totally okay, because you need to have the pain. You need to learn with the pain. You need to learn how it feels to not ever want to be there again. And I'll tell you, I had some pain back in 2012, 2013 that I never want to see in my entire life ever again. And so that's why I wake up every day with this freaking attitude, this, mindset. That's why I constantly am aggressive about learning. I take care of my health. I eat things that are, that I want to eat. I don't drink as much as I used to. I just choose to do things differently, because I never want to have that pain in my life ever again. And I'll tell you, being mediocre at life sucks. And being below average sucks. And I don't want that. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for any of my friends. I don't want that for anybody. So promise me in 2022, you'll get your head wrapped around the things it needs to get to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And you respect yourself and you make choices that are going to serve you. And you say things to yourself that are going to serve you. And I say this a lot, the most important conversation you're going to have is the one you have with yourself. And as you start building confidence, you start gaining traction, you start moving towards your goals, you stay humble. The humble student. You know, you don't live beyond your means, you don't blow your money, like you stay humble and you start traction, you start moving. And then you start doing things you've always wanted to do, like take care of your family. Like go on that vacation you want to go on, you know, buy the car you want to buy, you know, live in the house that you want to live in the neighborhood you want to live. Do the things that really deeply drive you and will help you make a difference. So happy Friday, everybody. Thanks so much for jumping on this morning. If you can share this Klear channel with one of your friends or family members, I'd really appreciate it. Again, the whole goal, in my opinion, and reason why I started this channel is simply to help change the world one leader at a time. And it's not going to be an easy task. I know it's going to take time, but I know the more good that I put in the world, the more good that you put in the world, it's going to continue to, help the world be a better place. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people in the world that are really upset and pissed off about, some parts of I'm not going to get into politics, but some parts of the world saying you have to, or you don't have to do certain things when it comes to vaccinations and it comes to certain things in your day. And I would just say this, no one has control over me. No one has control over you. Don't let anyone have that. You are unique. You're amazing. You have control over your life. No one else. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening.